Good morning. Today is Tuesday, April 25th, and let's get started on our story because of Winn-Dixie. All right, last night you had to read chapter 14. And so first thing I want to do is just do a quick review of the chapter. And this is a chapter where Opal spends some time talking to Gloria. We find out that if she had a story in library, she likes to retell the stories to Gloria. Sometimes she makes up a story, and Gloria's a good listener. And remember, we talked about that at the very beginning, that it's important to have someone to actually listen to us. And we need to practice being good listeners. And that means no devices, no TV. Just look at the person. Try to look in their eyes like I do whenever I'm talking to you. All right, so she spends time doing that. And in the midst of the conversation, Gloria says, I love to read, but I can't see well enough to read anymore. And so that's going to play an important part in our story a little bit later. But she told Gloria about Otis because I think it was really bothering her knowing that he had been in jail before. And she hadn't told her dad, and she really hadn't talked to anyone about it. So she was wanting to kind of get it off of her conscience, so to speak. She wanted to tell an adult about it and kind of see what they said. And she even makes up stories, and Gloria listens to them from the beginning to the end. It's pretty cool. And so Gloria, after she told him that Otis was a criminal or he had been in jail, Gloria said, just judge him on how he is now. People change. And sometimes, in the past, people have been a certain way. Maybe they've asked Jesus into their heart and he's helped them to change and be a different person. But, we need to take people for how they are now. He might have done something in the past and he went to jail for, but he doesn't do that anymore. And he's decided to make himself a better person. So just because we hear something about someone in the past, we shouldn't focus on that. We need to look at what's right. Remember, God says, we're a new creature in Christ. The old man is gone. We're new because Jesus changes us from the inside out. And he forgives us when we do the things in the past. All we have to do is ask him and he'll forgive us. It's pretty cool that, it's that simple. And some people really have a hard time because it seems too simple. But anyway, Gloria says, don't judge him by how he is. And then she took Opal to the backyard, and there's this tree. And it was a strange tree. It had all kind of bottles hanging from the tree. Like there were beer bottles and wine bottles and just some other kinds of bottles. And she's like, what's this? And Gloria says that, this is my tree that I put things up when I've done something wrong. And she had made a comment about the type of bottles. And she goes, yeah, I know what kind of bottles they are because I drank it and then I put it up there. And Opal was a little shocked that Gloria had spent time in her life drinking like her mom did. And so she would put the bottles up there to chase the ghost away. And I think it was just a physical reminder that that's not something she wanted to do. Excuse me. Coffee always helps that little spot in there when I talk too much. Anyway, and so she said, yeah, I had a lot of bad days. I used to drink a lot and I couldn't stop because Opal said, yeah, my mom couldn't stop once she started. She said, I had the same problem. And so she had all these things and she put it up so when the wind blew, they would kind of make noises as the air would catch into them and blow into them and just remind her. And she said it chased the ghost away. Or, it basically was just a reminder to herself, hey, don't do this because, it doesn't turn out too well for her. And, there was one little comment in there about Opal and her mom. And she made a comment. She goes, I wonder if my mom thought that Opal was a ghost, like something she regretted having. She wondered if her mom really loved her. And she wondered how her mom felt about her because she's not there anymore. So she couldn't ask her. So that was an interesting question that she had right there. All right, so let's go on to page 14. You had to answer 2 questions. Number 2, what does Gloria Dump tie to the big tree in her backyard? And we know it's D, bottles, right? And then the long answer. In chapter 14, Gloria tells Opal not to judge people by the things they've done. What does Gloria mean by this? So you should have had something, I already hit up on it. Don't judge a person by their past. People can change and become better. Not always, but some do, especially if we ask Jesus into our heart. He helps us to change. And then, do you agree with her? Yes or no? Do you think it's good just to look at how they are now? Or should we take their whole life and everything they did right and wrong and make our decision? I think you know the answer to that. Okay, a little extra at the bottom, cross it out. You don't have to do that. All right, and then we had chapter 15 summary on page 15. Now this is our 5th one. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, chapter 14. Getting ahead of myself. You had to give a title to this section. This section was Opal with Gloria the whole time. And I think our biggest thing in this chapter was the tree. So I put Gloria's tree with bottles. Whatever you have is okay, as long as you feel like it summarizes the chapter. If you go back and look at this and then after 5 chapters you go, oh yeah, I remember that chapter. That's what it is. It's a reminder of what you read in that chapter. It'll help you, okay? And then I told you to go to page 41, add some more facts about Gloria. I had on there before that she was an older person. She was nice, sharing, and she listens. But I put in the past that she drank. And then I put that she learned not to do that. She changed. She made choices in her life that were positive choices for her. So anything like that, remember it's facts. So we know for a fact she tells us that she drank. And that's a really important to know because it relates directly to her mother. So, good things to have on there. All right, so we're almost finished with this section. Today, I want you to read chapter 15. On page 15, I want you to finish this whole section where you have to come up with a summary for this chapter. And then take all 5 chapters, look through what we have written for our summaries, and give a title to this section. What is your favorite part in this section of the book? You should have some new words that maybe you have seen. You list those down there at the bottom. Draw a picture of something that you think represents this section, which after you have a title for the whole thing, then you can draw a picture that would sort of match that. So I wanted you to finish this page up after you read chapter 15. I want you to make sure that you have finished page 13, which word, and writing out the sentences, all of page 14 except for the bottom in gray. And I will talk to you tomorrow after we finish chapter 15. Have a great day.